Hello guys, today we're going to be talking about vitamin D and the absorption of it. There are two groups of vitamin D. One of them is called vitamin D2 and one of them is called vitamin D3. Vitamin D2 is called agocalciferol and vitamin D3 is called cholecalciferol. Vitamin D2 is found in fish, the vitamin that you choose to eat if it contains vitamin D. It's also found in stuff like certain mushrooms, whereas vitamin D3 is found in the sun. I'm going to go through the steps in which these different vitamin D sources are absorbed, but I'm only going to explain it down to the liver because then it becomes the same whether you have had an intake of vitamin D2 or if you have had a synthesis of vitamin D3. Just so you're aware and just so things don't get messed up. Let's start with vitamin D2, also known as agocalciferol. So when you eat, let's say you eat a fatty fish, like a mackerel, you eat it and you chew it and then it goes down into your stomach and then into the small intestine. Now, because vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, that means that it cannot mix with water. So you have these fats, these lipids, whatever you would call them, floating about in the small intestine along with the vitamin D. Now, these two things could pack together in a thing called a chylomicron, also known as a lipoprotein. And when these get packed together, they can now float about. They still don't mix with water, but they can float about. They don't just go either to the surface or the bottom. They can actually move now. Now, these chylomicrons, also known as lipoproteins, get sent from the small intestines back to the liver. This is where I'm going to pause because now we're going to look at vitamin D3, the cholecalciferol, because we're getting down to the liver stage, which is where the same process happens. So we're going to take a step back now and we're going to look at vitamin D3. When you have the sun, it's not as simple as the UV rays just comes booming down with vitamin D3. I wish it was like that, but it's not. When the sun is in the sky and the UV rays hit your skin, you get something called 7-dehydrocholesterol. And in turn, when that hits your skin starts to synthesize D3 out of this. Then when it comes into the skin, the vitamin D3, again, it's a fat-soluble vitamin, so it cannot just flow about in your bloodstream because that also contains water. So it needs to be bound to plasma protein. Now you have the vitamin D3 and you have the plasma protein, and they in turn bind together and get sent to the liver. Let's imagine we're in the liver now. So we have both reached this stage for both vitamin D2 and vitamin D3 that we are now in the liver. Remember, vitamin D2 is currently as a chylomicron, also known as a lipoprotein, and vitamin D3 is bound to a plasma protein. The liver takes vitamin D2, vitamin D3, and the chylomicron remnants, and then in turn it takes the vitamin D2 and the vitamin D3 and it turns it into something called 25-hydroxy vitamin D3. We still have one more step to go before the body can use this vitamin D. So now the liver takes the vitamin D, the 25-hydroxy vitamin D3, and it sends it to the kidneys. The kidneys then take this 25-hydroxy vitamin D3 and it turns it into 1.25 hydroxy vitamin D. Now it's complete. The absorption is full, but we still need a way to transport it. Remember, it's a fat-soluble vitamin, so it does not mix with water. The vitamin D3, also known as 1.25 hydroxy vitamin D3, is now bound to a metabolite. Along with that metabolite, it gets bound to plasma protein, also known as GC globulin, which has a depot function. Now that it's connected to that the plasma protein, it can go anywhere in the body essentially, and it can work its functions. So lots of steps to get there, but we got there in the end. I hope this cleared up some things for you guys. If you've got any questions about it, please let me know in the comments below. It also doesn't have to be related to vitamin D. It can be anything you want. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.